Welcome to the Fit for Halter podcast. I'm your host, Amy Zabel, and we're here to bring content and community to the amateur halter exhibitor. Welcome to the Fit for Halter podcast. We are bringing content and community straight to the amateur halter exhibitor. I'm your host, Amy Zabel, and I'm excited to launch our very first episode. What an honor it is to bring guests to you from the World Conformation Horse Association. I'll start with Executive Director of the WCHA, Don Falcon. Don was raised on a family ranch in Montana. After marrying wife Berta, Don worked as a conductor on the railroad and started a family. He has two children, daughter Dawn and son Ben. In 1978, he attended a local quarter horse show with a production sale of Skipper W. bred horses. He made his first big purchase, a weanling filly, for $600. He juggled his work as a railroad conductor with training and breeding until 1994, when he decided to train horses full-time. In late summer of 1995, Don made a spur-of-the-moment trip to Texas to look for young show prospects and laid his eyes on a sorrel colt that was fallless. The price was five times more than he had ever paid for a horse before, but he had to have him. He named the sorrel colt Touchdown Kid. This horse took Don and his family to successes in the halter industry he could never have imagined from his meager beginnings. He has served in leadership roles in the multiple quarter horse associations for decades. He's an AQHA, APHA, and WCHA approved judge. He's judged 5 AQHA world shows and 1 APHA world show. His journey with the WCHA began when he was elected as director in 2009. He was appointed as chairman of the Breeders and Futurity Committee in 2010, implemented the Breeders Championship Futurity in 2011, served as chairman of the Breeders Futurity Committee and Futurity Manager from 2011 to 2014, with futurities growing in numbers and payouts significantly each year. He resigned from the WCHA Hall of Fame. He resigned from WCHA in the fall of 2014. He was asked by the WCHA to resume his role as manager of futurities in 2017 after a controversial move to Fort Worth. Don quickly made changes to the futurity format to encourage fair competition for non-pros and color breeds, and the futurities made a quick turnaround in 2016. He stepped into the role as WCHA Executive Director in 2018. His background as a trainer, breeder, stallion owner, judge, and leader in several associations gives him broad experience to lead the WCHA. However, his humble beginnings with a $600 halter horse to successfully competing in world show competitions will always contribute to how he structures programs so grassroots owners and exhibitors feel they have a fair opportunity to compete and enjoy their experiences showing halter horses with the WCHA. So we welcome Don Falcon. And next up, I'm pleased to introduce Randy Jacobs, president of the WCHA. Randy was a leading halter horse trainer for nearly 35 years, and he's the owner of DAC Vitamins and Minerals. Since 1983, DAC has offered superior, innovative supplements for livestock and companion animals. You're probably familiar with the red shirts and many of their equine products, such as Big Gain, Bloom, and DAC Oil. He's a carded judge with WCHA and has numerous Congress and world champions. Today, Randy continues his involvement with the industry as current president of the WCHA, along with attending numerous horse shows, supporting his daughters, Molly Froman and daughter-in-law, Aubrey Jacobs. Randy is excited to see what the next 40 years brings to the company as his son, RJ, begins to take on a larger role. He plans to continue his involvement in both the business and industry, but has well-deserved time off and vacation awaiting. And he and his wife of 32 years, Holly, who recently retired from teaching after 34 years. So the two of you bring substantial experience and wisdom. I'm excited for this brand new community to meet you, learn more about the WCHA. And so if we could kick off, would one of you share with us when and why the WCHA was created?
Well, I'll take that first question. Thank you, Amy. It was created in 2007. It was kind of the brainchild of Peter Cole-Francisco, who was past president of AQHA. He was also youth president, which my daughter served on the youth committee, executive committee with. So Peter's had great roots in the halter industry for several years, but working as AQHA president, he saw that the strides that the Cutters were doing with their association, the NCHA, and the Reiners with the NRHA and the NSBA, and as the quarter horse, the stock horses became specialized, it was important that these Cutters, Reiners, pleasure horses had their own association, and he saw that the halter industry could benefit from that same format. And so in 2007, it was organized. It took 3 to 4 years to get the bylaws and to get our affiliate status with AQHA and APHA and the other breed associations. So, and that was kind of how it all got started, just with Peter Cole-Francisco's foresight.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. How has the WCHA helped the halter industry?
I guess I'll step in here. It's been a long process to where we started and to where we are today. WCHA has grown substantially and really at a fast, rapid rate in the last 5 to 6 years. And, we've gained affiliate status with AQHA, APHA, and other stock breeds. And as you know, when numbers, we can get things to happen faster. And, WCHA's membership is continuing to grow. And then you add in the AQHA and APHA. And now we also have the Appaloosa Horse Club that we're working well with. So in order to grow, I think WCHA has been a big asset to the halter horse industry. And by no means do we want to break away from AQHA or anything like that. We work very well together with both of those associations. And, WCHA promotes the halter horse competitors across the United States. We have some recognition in other countries as well. So, AQHA and APHA host significant halter events within their respective world championship show. We have events with the AQHA and APHA. Like Don had said earlier, he's judged both of them. Myself has judged both of them. And just to have WCHA present at both of those events is huge for us and the halter horse industry, the breed itself. So it's been a really good mixture with everything, and a blend, I guess, or a relationship, you might say.
Yeah, awesome. One of the things I'm excited. Yeah, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just thought of something that, as a member of WCHA as an association, we also were instrumental in getting the safety chain back for AQHA exhibitors to show their stallions, and it was a safety issue, and it took an association, an affiliate, to work through that process to get that for our halter exhibitors. And then this past year, we were also instrumental in getting the disability rule in, where competitors that had a disability or were up in age and had aches and pains that couldn't do the soundness exam by running through the obstacle course that is required in a halter show, especially the world shows. This allowed more older people or people with disabilities to compete, where a designated handler could take the horse through that soundness exam. And so, again, as an association, we represent the halter members. And so as a group, we can get more things done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as an amateur exhibitor, I appreciate the way that you're being inclusive of as many people as possible. I appreciate that, because larger classes are benefit to me too. So there's a brand new WCHA show coming this spring. Can you tell us about it?
Well, Randy and I and Luke Castle, Tim Finkenbeiner, Wayne Halverson, we were having a conference call last spring, and we were kind of taking, like Wayne and Tim, they were on the original executive committee when it was formed in 2007, 2008, past presidents. And we wanted to reflect of where we were, how far we've come, what we needed to do. And it's always been in the mind of the, from the very beginning, to have a world championship type show for halter only horses. And so, and the other issue that we have is the weekend shows are declining in numbers, and it's difficult for horses to owners, exhibitors, to get qualified for the AQHA World Show. So that was, one of the issues that we'd like to work through. And so it just, the more we talked, the more we thought about, well, there's no sense waiting. Let's just get after it. And so that's how our Supreme Championship show developed. It's been a long 9-10 months in organizing, but that's the concept. So what we're going to have is 4 AQHA approved shows where exhibitors can come, not only get qualified, but earn AQHA halter points. Anyone that hauls a stallion anymore to the weekend shows, they know how difficult it is to get those stallions qualified, especially if you have to qualify an amateur, an open, and a select exhibitor. There just isn't enough horses to get those points. So that's the goal. 4 AQHA pointed shows, and then we approached the Paint Association and we got approval for 4 paint approved horse shows, halter only. And then we made the same proposal to the Appaloosa. So we have 4 Appaloosa pointed shows. So you can get points in all the breeds. And then within each breed, each class, we're going to offer stakes classes. Whether it's an open class, an amateur class, there will be a stakes class within it. Eligibility to be in a stakes class, you cannot have, the horse cannot have won a world or reserve world championship. But come one, come all for your points. But the stakes classes are to encourage limited horses that haven't won that world title yet. And we're going to have close to 100,000 in added money just for the stakes classes alone. And then the third component of this Supreme Championship show, within every class, within every breed, we're going to name a Supreme WCHA Supreme Champion. And that title will stay with that horse within WCHA for lifetime. So that's bringing a large horse show. We expect a large number of entries and competitors. And the biggest component is we want to encourage participation and have a good time in Oklahoma City.
Awesome. So you mentioned Oklahoma City. Can you tell me more about the location?
Well, it's going to be at the Oklahoma State Fairgrounds. Mm-hmm. Everyone's familiar with the location. That's where the AQHA World Show is and many other large events. It's going to be May 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Okay. Awesome. So are WCHA shows just for the young horse? I know you touched on that a little bit in your explanation of the event itself, but tell me a little bit more about the ages that can show at the WCHA shows.
Well, we don't want to leave anybody out. We want everybody to come. And like I said earlier, we're hoping it's going to encourage people to get back in the halter horse industry because the class sizes and get horses qualified much easier than traveling all over the country, from show to show and not having enough to get qualified. So open competitors, amateurs, youth, every age, every sex of the horse, quarter horses, paints, Appaloosas. Like Don says, come one, come all. And I think there's a lot of really good buzz right now in the halter industry. We're seeing babies every day on Facebook, and people are excited. Yeah. So I think it's going to be a tremendous show. And like Don says, it's at the great facility at the Oklahoma State Fairgrounds. We got things going on every day so the exhibitors can enjoy it. And, with the sale we haven't had a sale in years. So it's an exciting time in the halter horse industry.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why I hope to bring information to us to continue that energy. You mentioned the sale, Randy. Can one of you tell us more about the sale?
Don, you want to
touch? Go ahead.
Well, we're going to have a sale, and it will be on Saturday. And like I said, we haven't had one in the industry for years. It's going to be top quality. We want quality versus quantity. And, we're hoping that we get, between 75 and 85 horses that are that caliber. We want people to be able to bring those top horses and get good money for them through a sale. We don't want them to, bring what they can unload at home. So it's going to be a good quality sale. And I'm hoping that we have a large crowd. We've already had some foreign people that are interested in attending. So, the word spread all over the country now that we're having one, and people are excited again about a sale again. So, along with the show. So, I think it's going to be like Donna said, it's just going to be a top class, world caliber show and sale that we're going to put on. So, I can't say enough good about it. I'm excited to be involved, happy that I can give back to the industry that was so good to me for so many years.
Yeah. Amen.
And one thing about the sale is it's a live auction, but we're also going to provide live bidding from home. So there'll be an auction service that you can bid on horses from home. We'll be screening them when they arrive, but we prefer that you attend, but if you can't, you can bid online. And one other thing I forgot to mention about the concept of the show, especially our weekend shows, whether it's a quarter horse, a paint, or Appaloosas, our older horses, all the focus in the last 5 years, or not, I shouldn't say all the focus, but the majority of the focus has been on our weanlings and yearlings because of the large payouts in our futurities, whether it's WCHA futurities that we have each fall in Fort Worth, or it's the BHF that is a great futurity in Iowa. Just these two futurities alone, there's over $2 million paid out in the fall for weanlings and yearlings. And so that kind of leaves, with all the focus on our younger horses, we need to ensure that our older horses can extend their careers and have value. A 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, and aged horses extend their careers. And so that's what this spring Supreme Championship is focused on as well. That these horses can come and earn titles, earn points, and earn money and have value for someone that wants to purchase them.
I appreciate all that effort and strategy and work that you guys are doing to build the industry. You touched a little bit on the futurities and the babies. So what can you share about kind of the overall detail and work that's involved in preparing, if I'm an amateur exhibitor getting ready for the futurities specifically, like just naming those futurities and maybe some basic details about how I get connected to those?
Sure. Well, for the novice viewers out there, a futurity is you put money up it's basically to gamble or invest in the horse that you've raised or purchased. Stallion owners, they nominate their stallions into a program. We have 4 different futurity programs. We have the WCHA Breeders Futurity. We have the Big Money Futurity. We have the new Rising Star Futurity, which we're excited about, which is the only stallions and their are eligible are those stallions who have not yet sired a world champion. So it's an introductory type level for these younger stallions or horses that the owners don't have the means to promote them in a large way. This is a way for these stallions to showcase offspring by their stallions. And then we also have the Yellow Rose Futurity that is held in June within the Pinto World Championship Show. So we have 4 futurity programs. Stallion owners pay their stallion into the programs. And then mare owners who have offspring, whether it's a weanling, yearling, 2-year-old, 3-year-old, aged horses, they nominate their offspring into the same futurity programs. That builds a purse. And then we have sponsorships and additional ways that WCHA contributes to the purses as well. Again, we've grown WCHA futurity programs where we pay over $1 million each fall. But we pay in many divisions. We pay the open exhibitors, we pay non-professional exhibitors, we pay youth exhibitors, and then we also have a division for intermediate non-pro. That intermediate non-pro is introductory level, again, for non-pros who have not competed yet at a high level, that have not won world or reserve world titles. And so I guess what we're most proud of is 80%, I would venture to say, of our membership is made up of non-pro competitors. And our goal is to always make newcomers feel welcome. We can assign mentors to them. There's always something that we want to build our association from the ground up. Those that have been successful for many years, we know they're going to come back year after year. They love raising and showing and competing with halter horses, but we want to introduce the world to what we have to offer. So that's what a futurities encompass.
I smile because I was there last year and experienced all the care and attention that you put into that firsthand. So I appreciate it. So nominations, if I have a baby and I know my stallion has been nominated, what do I need to do to submit nominations or entry fees as the exhibitor?
Okay. First of all, go to our website, worldconfirmationhorse.com, or just type in WCHA. All of our forms are there, but as I mentioned before, we have a nomination for the WCHA Breeders Futurity, and the introductory rate is only $100 to nominate if you do it within 60 days of the weanling being foaled, or older horses by March 1st. And then we have a big money nomination, and that's $100 as well, same rate, low introductory rate. Of course, if you wait longer, it'll gradually increase, but it's a way for the nomination process is a way for mare owners to contribute to the purses and the stallion owners, so it's not overly burdened on support of from one segment or the other. So that's the nomination process. And then you can start in June, enter the futurity classes that you wish to participate in that fall.
Gotcha. Thank you. What improvements do you see overall in the stock horse halter industry over the years?
Randy?
Sure. We've had a lot of improvements in the last 10 years in the halter horse industry, especially the last 5 years, I would say. You know, purse money, especially. We haven't seen, you know, two associations put out, you know, $1 million, over $1 million each in, I don't know, the history of the halter horse industry. So that's one being the most noticeable. We've made great progress in the structural correctness. And a lot of that is, I think we've educated the judges more on what we're looking for, what the major faults are. And there's just so many more opportunities for the horses to compete, but then opportunities for the entry-level person to come in and compete as well. And I know it myself at our fraternity in the fall and in the BHF, we hear people say, hey, it's so fun to come back again and see these classes, and they feel welcome because of the things we do and make them feel welcome there. And so I think that's one of the biggest things. And we continue to educate our judges. You know, people, they want to do it right. You know, they don't want to go out there and be embarrassed. So we have people that are, you know, wanting to become a WCHA judge. And so that's something that's also exciting because we need more new faces, and people are wanting to do it, and they're wanting to do a good job.
And
how would you, oh, sorry, go ahead.
That's all right. Amy, Randy just spoke on something that I wanted to touch on. We are offering or asking for judge applicants. Go to our website or call me and get you the application. If you're a carded judge already in AQHA or APHA or Appaloosa, we need your applications by March 15th. The testing will be, I believe, May 16th in Pilot Point. Or if you're just, you know, have a love for the halter horse, think you would make a good judge, we welcome you to come test. So that's coming up March 15th to get your applications in.
All right. So last question, what is the greatest need, in your opinion, for the halter industry today? The greatest need?
I think I, you know, touched on that a little bit just a minute ago. You know, new judges, more judges, I think is important. I also think we need to continue to promote these two fraternities that we have, to be able to stand on our own, get new people involved. We can never have too many, you know, and so, you know, years ago we had the small breeders fraternities, the local state fraternities, and they've kind of went by the wayside. And I think really the breeders and WCHA has helped stir interest back in some of those state fraternities. I hear the last few years are starting to grow again. So that's important. Our industry needs that. You know, we can't do it all alone between the two. So it's still numbers. We want people to get involved, you know, get the kids involved, new young trainers, you know. And I think these young trainers that like halter horses, they're seeing the money out there that's being paid out, and it's stirring the interest in them. I hear some of even the pleasure horse guys, you guys, you're paying that kind of money. We need to get a halter horse. You know, that's the kind of stuff that I'm hearing. Seriously. Yeah. You know, and so they can't go very many places and, you know, in 2 weekends out of the year and win $2 million. You know, that kind of prize money offered anyway.
Yeah.
Another thing we're doing, Amy, is Rebecca Halverson is the chairman of our youth committee, and we are going to roll out a new youth program this year in the fall where we'll have weanlings donated by some of our breeders, and we're reaching out to 4-H and FFA members to apply for one of these horses, and then we'll assign mentors to them. It'll be an educational process of how to fit and care for a young halter horse, and we hope to have a sale and a competition at some of the large stock shows in the future. And so we want to mentor these youngsters in making them aware of the product that our breeders turn out. So that's in the works.
That's awesome. Sounds like we have a couple of future episodes already lined up talking about our youth and the opportunities that we're presenting for our youth, and then the mentor program that you mentioned sounds pretty amazing. Yep. So is there anything else you want to share with us about the upcoming show in May?
No, if you'd have us back, we'd like to give you updates here in another month, but right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for having us for sure, though. It's great.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So thank you to both of you for taking the time to share about the Supreme Championship Show and select sale taking place in Oklahoma City in May. You can find more information at confirmationhorse.com or on Facebook at WCHA.
Hey, if you're an amateur or a professional willing to share your story or bring content that helps us with our halter horses, you can email me at fitforhalter@gmail.com. If you're willing to sponsor an episode, we would be happy to promote your products and services. You can email me at fitforhalter@gmail.com for more information.